After days of lawsuits by IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu against Reno Omokri, he continues his attack on Igbo and extends it to Peter Obi. Hello everyone, and welcome back again to this channel. This is About Perspective, your number one hub for in-depth political analysis, national commentary, and stories that matter to the people of Nigeria and beyond. In today's explosive episode, we take a deep dive into the unfolding drama between controversial political activists Reno Omokri, the IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and Labour Party presidential candidate Mr. Peter Obi. Just days after being slammed with a 60 billion lawsuit for alleged defamation of Igbo, Reno Omokri has chosen to double down on his attacks, not just on Nnamdi Kanu, but on the entire Igbo political movement, and particularly Mr. Peter Obi. So somebody would ask, what exactly is his end game? Is this a personal vendetta or a well-coordinated political strategy? Let's break it all down. Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of indigenous people of Biafra, recently filed a 60 billion naira defamation lawsuit against Reno Omokri. This came after Omokri made a series of social media posts and of course video broadcasts accusing Kanu of being responsible for widespread violence and instability in the southeast, particularly targeting politicians and federal government infrastructure. The lawsuit, which is both symbolic and legal, is a major move by Kanu's legal team to challenge what they term as a malicious propaganda against their clients and Igbo. Of course, many Igbo voices online hailing Nnamdi Kanu for the move, and of course, if you've been online, it is actually a long overdue step to check Reno's consistent attacks on Igbo self-determination movement. Rather than backtracking and tapping his rhetoric following the lawsuit, Reno Omokri has intensified his campaign in new videos and formerly Twitter posts. He has continued to draw controversial parallels between Nnamdi Kanu and other African revolutionary figures, often in a negative light. But more disturbing to many observers is that Omokri has widened his criticism to include Peter Obi, branding the former Anambra governor as an opportunist, exploiting tribal sentiments. And according to Reno Omokri, Peter Obi supporters, largely made up of Igbo youth and Southern Christians, are no different from IPOB sympathizers. He accused them of blind fanaticism and dangerous ethno-political loyalties. But somebody would ask, right from 2023 general election, Reno Omokri has been on the neck of Mr. Peter Obi. And the question will be, what is the unprovoked attack for? Let's set up. Peter Obi, who ran a peaceful and policy-focused campaign during the 2023 general election, has largely refrained from engaging in identity politics. His growing popularity in the southeast, south-south, and even among northern youths appears to have actually threatened the old political order, especially figures aligned with the PDP, like Reno Omokri. Critics argued that Reno Omokri sees Obi as a threat to Atiku Abubakar's political relevance by delegitimizing Obi and tying him to IPOB narratives. Reno could be trying to kill two birds with one stone, discrediting Obi's movement and defending his political godfather's legacy as of 2023. But this time, Reno Omokri continued the attack, and a lot of obedience, believe me, are perceiving it as long overdue because the backlash has been very intense lately. Then, reaction from the Igbo nation. Across social media and traditional forums, many Igbos have expressed outrage at Reno's constant targeting of their leaders and movements. They accuse him of promoting hate speech and tribal profiling. Often framing the entire region as a violent or separatist, even when there is no credible basis. Some have even called on the federal government and human rights organizations to investigate Reno Omokri's comments, which they say could actually incite inter-ethnic hatred and division. Many also point out the double standard in Reno's treatment of northern agitators versus southern ones. The likes of Nnamdi Kanu. For example, when terrorism happens in the north, he is quick to defend or rationalize it. But when it involves IPOB or the East, he uses the harshest words. But as a country, we should be treated with caution, and to why there is need for Reno to be called to order. Because looking at it, the broader implication for the national unity is really at stake here. Let's move forward to what this could actually result to the disadvantage of Nigeria's unity. Looking at it, this ongoing verbal warfare reveals deep cracks in Nigeria's unity. I mean, at a time when the country needs healing, dialogue, and bridge building, Reno Omokri's approach seems to do the exact opposite, pouring fuel on ethnic tension. I mean, there is tension already. His refusal to address issues with civility and his pattern of vilifying the Southeast people raise questions about his true intentions. Is this really activism, or is it a political sabotage masquerading as a free speech? To why the international observers should look into it, because it is actually getting out of hand. The danger here is that if public figures like Omokri continue unchecked, Nigeria may slide further into distrust, suspicion, and tribal divisions, especially as the 2027 election season approaches. And somebody would also ask, what happened? Because to the best of my knowledge, a lot of things were actually going on before the 2023. To me, this is quite political. I mean, there was a time Reno Omokri was widely regarded as a voice of reason and justice. Someone who stood firmly for the marginalized, including the Igbo people. I mean, he used to be a pro-Igbo person. He spoke out boldly against injustice in the Southeast and often called for fairness, equity, and national unity. His words resonated with many who saw him as a rare figure from South or Middle Belt who genuinely understood the Igbo struggle and aspirations. But somewhere along the line, something changed. It didn't happen overnight. It began gradually with subtle shifts in tone, selective criticism, and eventually outright hostility towards the same people he once supported. Today, Reno appeared to have positioned himself opposite side of that same narrative. From defending the Igbos, he now seemed to attack their leaders, ridicule their movement, and question their political ambition. So what really changed? What got into Reno? The answer, for many observers, is simple. Nigerian politics happened to him. The same system that twists truth, rewards opportunism, and punishes consistency appears to have pulled him into its web. Allegiances were redrawn, priorities were reshuffled. Suddenly, political survival and loyalty to certain figures seemed to matter more than the principle he once preached. It's a sad but familiar story in Nigerian political commentary, where one's principled voice lose their way in the maze of party loyalty, tribal calculation, and personal ambition. Reno Omokri's shift in tongue is not just about one man's change of heart. It's a reflection of how the toxic nature of our political environment can alter even the most outspoken advocate for justice. Let me end with this. The full breakdown of Reno Omokri's continued attacks on Igbo and Peter Obi, even after being hit with a whopping 60 billion defamation lawsuit from Nnamdikanu. At this point, many are asking, is Reno really fighting for justice, or is he defending outdated political interests? As always, we leave the final judgment to you, my audience, our viewers. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Reno Omokri is helping or harming national unity? Do you support Nnamdikanu's legal action against him? And what does this mean for Peter Obi's political future? Don't forget to like this video, share it widely, and subscribe to A Better Perspective for more powerful stories and truthful analysis from the heart of the Southeast, from the heart of Nigeria. Thank you for amazing audience.